what's up guys, this is Church of Caboose. In this video is going to be a little brief guide on how to complete the Concealed Void Lost Sector on the Legend difficulty all by yourself. You would probably want to be doing these to farm for the new exotics, so make sure you're hitting it up on the Helmet and Arms Day. Otherwise, you can use these lost sectors to farm for other exotics and hopefully get better rolls and whatnot. So that's going to be the whole point of this video. As always, at the end of this video is a full run through because the intro talking part is usually rather brief. So make sure you guys subscribe to my channel if you do like this kind of content, and let me know down below what you think of these guides and if you'd like to see more, as well as hop in our eventual Discord server and just let us know if you're a subscriber or if you want to be in one of our Xbox, PlayStation, or PC clans. Okay, so just some generic tips like we always do before the full run through. Tip number 1. Clear out everything you can before popping around corners or progressing through the room. There's lots of radiolarian and places and ledges to fall off of, so it's really easy to accidentally get yourself really exposed and more or less screw yourself and lose a revive for something you probably could have avoided. So if you just pop around corners, kind of look on your radar, take out things that you can, and then move forward as needed. The second tip is that the barriers are a little bit tricky this time. The overloads are pretty easy, so make sure you have on scout rifles and or the combination of Surge Eater and Thermal Overload, which are seasonal artifact mods that let your grenades on Solar and Stasis subclass stun those overload champions. But the anti-barrier is a little tricky. It's a servitor, and for some reason on November 23rd, that thing was twitching and glitching all over the place. It did not want to sit still, it was teleporting, and it was really just bizarre, as well as making almost all of the ads around it completely immune, and that's the trickiest champion because you have the champion shooting at you as well as all the ads that you literally cannot hit, which is part of why I suggest you guys take out what you can before you move into a room, because for some reason that anti-barrier does not seem to spawn in until you get to a certain point in the room, or at least not shield as many of the ads. So, and that's also worth noting, this anti-barrier is not very easily sortable. It's kind of floating in the air most of the time. You could get lucky and catch it while it's on a platform, but most likely it'll be in the air, so you might want to throw a boss spec on your pulse rifle or whatever kinetic weapons that you are using, or run something like an Ariana's Vow instead of what I use when I show you guys here later. Typical loadouts would be whatever you need for on stop for the champions, which in this case would most likely be a scout rifle with Ariana's Vow and a sword. I happen to do Cold Denial, a pulse rifle for champion the anti-barrier. Then I did the Raid Scout Rifle for the Overload champions, as well as doing the Lament Sword because I really wanted to tank the boss at the end, which leads us to the very last generic tip. That room is a little bit tricky at the very end. There's not a whole lot of places to hide, and ads kind of spawn in all around you. So the best way for getting through this boss room at the end of the Lost Sector rather quickly, for me, was using a sword, especially Lament, that thing wrecks, and taking out that boss as fast as possible. And if you get to that room with enough time, so if we get there with about 7 to 9 minutes, you should have enough time, then rush into that room, do what you can with the sword if you don't have a super, or mostly if you're on Hunter. If you get killed, whatever, just respawn, run in and do it again till you kill the guy and then collect your loot. If you're on a Titan, do a bubble, works really well. If you're on a Warlock, do a well, works super duper well. And if you are a Hunter, I did Stasis for this particular Lost Sector because it kind of freezes the boss, which helps reduce the effects of that stomp mechanic that Bungie loves having these bosses have. Alright, that concludes the video as far as generic tips goes. If you guys want to see how I approached it, I have a full run from my Warlock that's going to be right after this, so feel free to watch it, and it will be at slightly increased speed, so that way it doesn't take as long for you guys to watch it. I will show off the weapons as well as mods and whatnot, so you guys can see exactly what I ran, and so you could have a better idea. If you're completely clueless on what to do, you can watch the whole thing and see how I approached it. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hop in the Discord server, like the video, share the video, and comment down below if these are helpful, if the tips help, you like these guides, and you want me to keep this kind of content coming your way. Just let me know. Have a great, I am Church of Caboose. Have a great week, and happy grinding, y'all.